There's a point in every movie franchise where viewers look at what is being released and say, I guess this is what this franchise is. While that can sometimes be a positive realization, it very rarely is. Think of the Marvel Cinematic Universe around Thor, Love and Thunder, or Disney Star Wars around Solo, a Star Wars story. It usually happens when a franchise has lost all creativity and innovative spark, falling back on tired formulas and dated imagery, or pushing a message that just doesn't work. For a lot of franchises, this realization comes after a long run of success and forms over several films that fail to meet expectations. For the DC Universe film franchise, it's occurred in movie 2. The first trailer for 2026's Supergirl has been released, and I guess this is what this franchise is. The trailer is pretty simple. Kara Zor-El, Superman's cousin, is overcome by guilt and depression over watching those around her die, becoming jaded. To celebrate her 23rd birthday, she's traveling to planets with red suns that allow her to get drunk and party. Somewhere along the way, she meets some people that make her care and lead her on an adventure that will undoubtedly make her a better person. And that's kind of it. This is what James Gunn has decided to follow up Superman with, not counting Peacemaker, of course. Not Batman, not Wonder Woman, not even The Flash or Green Lantern. Supergirl. The problem with this trailer, and what makes me leery of the movie itself, is that it is the most James Gunn trailer that has ever James Gunned a James Gunn's James Gunn. A plucky, jaded hero nursing some past trauma? Check. Succinct expositional statements summing up their entire character for the benefit of the trailer? Check. Use of classic popular music to fill time, provide characterization, and distract from the fact that there isn't that much content in the trailer? Check. Gathering of misfit characters to oppose a stronger, seemingly unstoppable force? Check. Seems like everything's here for a James Gunn trailer. So about the actual content of the trailer. It has a fine look to it. Millie Alcock is a good actress that was one of the best things about House of the Dragon Season 1. She fits the look of Supergirl, though there's one clip in the trailer where she looks 13 years old for some reason. It's a bit off-putting. She seems to be enjoying playing the character, which is always a plus when watching a movie. I think her success or failure with the character will be in the writing and direction. The brief glimpse of Jason Momoa's Lobo looks like it's going to be comic accurate, and he's been very enthusiastic about the character. We get some brief glimpses of Kara back in her home city. There's some action associated with a girl that wants help from Supergirl that she doesn't want to give because she's jaded and complicated, of course. So what are the problems with the trailer? And let's be honest, problems that will be in the movie as well. My primary issue with the movie is a character that I'm not really sure is even going to be in it all that much. Superman. 2025 Superman had a lot of hype and anticipation behind it. James Gunn said all the right things in the lead up to its release, how it was going to be comic accurate, how it would have some levity to it in contrast with the dour and depressing Man of Steel, how it was going to center upon Superman as a hero. Despite all of these great sounding things, there was legitimate concern with Gunn's ability to actually pull it off. Nothing from his past films had shown him capable of handling a traditional superhero story. As more and more news trickled out, the concerns grew. As more trailers and behind the scenes looks were released, people started growing more worried. And then the film was released, and all our fears were confirmed. Superman was the butt of every joke. He was constantly criticized. He was sidelined at every opportunity. He was diminished and sat around watching others solve problems. He was defeated more often than he succeeded. Frankly speaking, Superman was not a Superman movie. It was a group ensemble, just like Guardians of the Galaxy and Suicide Squad. Despite all the spin being done trying to depict the film as a success, the truth is that it was a failure. The first movie in the DC Universe depicting the first ever superhero tripped out of the gate and stumbled to streaming on HBO Max. Not a good look. However, all is not lost. It's possible for movie franchises to shift gears. Mission Impossible did it after the disastrous second entry. James Bond has done it numerous times. It is possible that James Gunn heard all the criticism levied at the movie, primarily concerning how it treated Superman and the absolute butchering of Jor-El's message to him about subduing the earth and forming a harem of women for him, and cast Superman in a better light. Show some reverence to the centerpiece of your cinematic universe and elder statesman of the genre. We could all hope, right? The opening scene of the trailer depicts Crypto licking an empty alcohol bottle next to a record player, knocking it over and somehow starting a record of Blondie's Call Me. He walks across the floor to a newspaper featuring a picture of Superman waving to onlookers and a headline about him saving a town from a nuclear reactor explosion. He lifts his leg and urinates on the picture of Superman. Kara lifts her head from the pillow, smiles, and congratulates him for getting most of it on the paper. This right here is what's wrong with this film franchise. This right here is how the people headlining the cinematic universe feel about Superman. The Superman movie gutted everything there is to like about Superman, and the immediate follow-up has a dog peeing on a picture of him and his cousin congratulating the dog. This wasn't some happenstance that occurred on set that they decided to use for a quick laugh. This is a CGI dog urinating CGI pee onto what is probably a CGI newspaper. A designer had to sit at a computer and model this. Significant time and effort went into this degradation of a beloved hero by those who, in theory, are trying to show him respect and set the tone for the next generation to see him. This is what they think of him. And in case you had any doubt left, the ending line of the movie reaffirms their feelings. An unnamed girl asks her what Superman is like. She responds, he sees the good in everyone. That is a wonderful summation of Superman. He is the ever optimistic man with godlike powers. He could be a monster, but he sees the good in everyone. He's the big blue Boy Scout. Kara gets it. Maybe this movie is going to turn things around. Try to show some kind of respect to the hero that started it all.
And I see the truth.
Oh, never mind. Superman is a big dork that lives in a delusional la-la land where puppies and rainbows sing. Not like the realist Kara Zor-El, sorority girl extraordinaire. This right here is what's wrong with this trailer, movie, and cinematic franchise as a whole. You can complain about the overuse of music or odd characterizations, but they all pale in comparison with its absolute lack of respect for its most important characters. Of the three most important DC characters, we've seen no Wonder Woman, we've seen confusing handling and news of Batman, and Superman has been made into a colossal joke. And the worst part is that this is not surprising to anyone who knows anything about James Gunn. The fears most had when he was tabbed to helm this new cinematic universe have come to fruition. He cannot handle this kind of franchise, and he has chosen people who, by and large, cannot handle it either. Will this movie be good? I have no idea. Will it make money? I cannot see how that would be in any way possible. If this movie hits $400 million, I will be shocked. If the movie is good, it could end up having some legs that propel it toward $500 million, but I really don't know. At this point, it really doesn't matter. This franchise is already poisoned. Anything from it will ultimately fail. It's a faltering franchise in a tired genre in a collapsing medium. It had an uphill road to begin with and immediately broke one of its legs at the start. What do you think? Are you interested in this movie at all? Who is your favorite superhero? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching.